Hey guys, hello and welcome today. I want to talk about a book that absolutely changed my life, and it's a book that is widely talked about, been a New York Times best-selling book. Many celebrities have endorsed it, and it's this book. It's The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. If you haven't already read the book, this is a very deep philosophical book. It has So Eckhart Tolle basically studied a lot of philosophy from Hinduism, from Buddhism, from Zen, from Christianity, and he compiled them to create some timeless pearls of wisdom that could absolutely change your life. The challenge with reading this book is it has a lot of spiritual jargon, and at times it can be repetitive. It's not that easy to parse and get very practical wisdom out of it. So what I thought my purpose in making this video was to take some of the most important principles from this book that helped change my life and sort of explain them to you in a way that's very simple. All right, so let's just get started. So the book starts with a little anecdote, right? There's a beggar who's sitting on a box, and he'd been sitting on that box for 30 years. One day, a stranger passes by that box, and the beggar asks the stranger, "Sir, could you spare me some change?" And the stranger says, "I'm sorry, I don't have anything to give you, but you're sitting on a box. What's inside that box?" The beggar says, "Nothing. I've been sitting on it for the last 30 years. The stranger says, "Are you sure? Do you want to look inside that box?" The beggar says, "Yeah, I'm sure. There's nothing inside the box." And then the stranger insists, "Please look inside the box." And then the beggar somehow pries the box open, and to his astonishment, he finds a box full of gold. Right? And Eckhart Tolle starts by saying that he's that stranger who has nothing to offer you, but he's asking you to look at the box, the metaphorical box which is inside. And I'm just going to quote directly from the book, but in his own words: "Those who have not found their true wealth, which is the radiant joy of being and the deep, unshakable peace that comes with it, are beggars, even if they have great material wealth. They're looking outside for scraps of pleasure or fulfillment, or for validation, for security or love, while they have a treasure within that not only includes all those things but is infinitely greater than anything the world has to offer." So guys, this is it. The book basically starts with the basic premise that deep, abiding sense of peace and well-being are actually our natural state of being, but we lose touch with that natural state due to our habit of excessive thinking. The path to that state of being, according to the book, is found through the now, right? It is a state of consciousness where you're completely alert, but you're not thinking. You're not lost in the stream of thoughts in your mind, right? It's a state that we're much more connected with the world, with our senses, our body, and one that empowers conscious choice. This entire book basically talks about the dysfunctional nature of compulsive thinking and how ultimately the path to lasting peace can be found through presence. Here are some of the key ideas from the book, right? Idea number one: you are not your mind. So if you've ever tried meditation, and just if you haven't tried it, just try to sit in a place just for 30 seconds, close your eyes, and just observe your mind, right? And you'll realize something, right? It's impossible to still your mind even for a few seconds, right? Your mind is essentially a constant stream of thoughts, of emotions, of dreams, hopes, fantasies, frustrations, regrets, judgments, and stories, right? It is estimated by scientists that I think we have around 50,000 thoughts a day, and the vast majority of those thoughts, maybe more than 90% of them, are actually quite negative, they're quite repetitive, they're quite useless, they unnecessarily sabotage our happiness, and they don't really add to the quality of our life, right? So as a few examples here, right? Sometimes if you observe your mind is constantly trying to project into the future. And if that future looks exciting and if it looks happy, then you feel great, right? But if, for example, if your mind senses that there's some danger or some problem in the future, you feel anxiety and worry. This anxiety and worry doesn't really help you solve the problem, but you just feel it, right? Or sometimes your mind will regress to the past, and you'll play out certain incidents that happen in your life, and you will feel a lot of regret and guilt, right? Even though you have absolutely no power to change your past, but you still feel that regret and guilt. right? Or oftentimes we engage in comparison thinking, right? So what we do is we look at our friends, our neighbors, we look at them. Somebody is ahead of you in terms of their career, somebody is doing better than you financially, somebody is, maybe ahead in their personal life, and you're constantly feeling a little bit inferior, insecure. Maybe you feel like you're not where you need to be in life, right? And oftentimes our mind is judging our life circumstances. Maybe we feel like we're not in the right place, life isn't worth playing out the way we want it to, there's something that needs to happen that hasn't happened yet, and you're just like constantly in a state of judgment and resistance towards life and the direction of your life. And all of this is constantly happening unconsciously at the background of your mind, compulsively, and you have absolutely no control over this, right? And it's actually this incessant, these patterns of thought that actually cause your unhappiness. If you think about it, most people think the path being happy is to get what they want, right? It's that dream job, it's a lot of money, it's that great house, or it's that amazing partner. But even if you get those things, you're going to be happy for a second, and then eventually you're going to get bored, and then you're going to return to the state of unease, of unhappiness, right? So ultimately, lasting peace is not about rearranging the circumstances of your life. It's about learning to become present to the moment, learning to observe the patterns of thought in your mind, and find a way to sort of groom your mind so that you become a naturally happier person over a period of time, right? So you need to become the observer of your thoughts rather than the thoughts themselves, right? So now I've described why the nature of our mind, the thought patterns are so dysfunctional and why they make us so unhappy. So what is the solution? The solution, according to Eckhart Tolle, is to become completely present to the moment. Now, what does this mean, right? So whatever activity that you're doing at a given point in time, you want to completely focus your attention to it, right? When you're eating a meal, don't look at your phone, don't look at your social media. Taste your food, feel the taste, the texture, the temperature, the flavor of your food, right? Let's say you're going out for a walk in the park, feel the sunshine on your skin and the breeze, and listen to the sounds in the environment. When you're in a conversation with somebody, completely give your undivided focus and attention to that person. Whatever activity that you're engaged in, just be completely present to the moment, and you'll notice something, right? Not only do you start to enjoy life more and appreciate life more, you're also a lot more peaceful, a lot more happy. The other strategy that Eckhart Tolle recommends is to become aware of your breathing, right? As often as possible during the day, just feel the breath coming in and out of your body, right? So feel the air entering your nostrils, filling up your lungs, your chest expanding, and your breath leaving your body, right? And just do this a couple of times a day and realize one thing, right? Every time you focus your mind on your breath, there is a pause in your mind activity, in your thoughts, right? You become present to the moment again, and that will create a little bit of space, that will give you more clarity, more focus. It'll help you focus on the task that you're doing in that moment, and it centers you, right? And the other thing to do is he advocates watching your mind, meaning that as often as possible during the day, just check in on yourself. What am I thinking about? What thoughts are running in the back of my mind? What am I feeling? How do I feel in my body? Am I feeling anxious? Am I feeling angry? Am I feeling disappointed? Am I feeling bored? Become aware of your emotional states. Become aware of the patterns of thought in your mind, and try to understand how these patterns are affecting your emotional state, right? And there's many more other simple strategies that the book recommends. Definitely check them out, but I hope you got the point. Now, the third point is awareness is the greatest agent of change. Now, what does this mean, right? Your mind is basically running on an autopilot program, right? Just think about your day, right? How does it start? Maybe in the morning, your alarm goes off, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you get your coffee, you get ready, you run to work. You're not really thinking about any of this, right? So you're in an unconscious automatic loop, just going day after day after day after day, and people feel stuck sometimes, right? They want to make changes to their life. Maybe they want to lose some weight. Maybe they want to start eating healthier. Maybe they want to exercise. Maybe they want to improve the quality of their relationships. Maybe they want to start saving more money. And they wonder, why do I have no control over myself? The reason is you have these unconscious patterns of thought constantly running in the background of your mind that are controlling your behavior, but you have no awareness of them, right? And unless you gain awareness, and unless you observe your thoughts and patterns, you're not going to be able to make any long-term sustainable changes to your life. So unless you become conscious and aware and present to the moment, you're not going to be able to change your life. Point number 4 is about acceptance and surrender. Now, one of the most fundamental tenets of Buddhism is impermanence, right? A big part of our suffering, our pain in life is that we hold on to and crave and cling to things under the mistaken view that they will last forever, but nothing does, right? The world around us is constantly changing all the time, right? Even things that appear very solid are very unstable by their nature, right? Rivers start to change course, mountains crumble, the seas dry out, the stars burn out. The entire universe is in a process of constant flux, arising and falling away. And our life is just, such a brief, short experience in relation to the age of the universe that it doesn't make any sense for us to not enjoy our short period of time on this earth, right? So the path to lasting peace, right, is not in always trying to control your circumstance, because no matter how hard you try, you're not always going to be in control. The path to being peaceful and happy is to accept life as it plays out, right? It is to yield to the flow of life than to oppose it, right? It means you have to loosen your attachments to external circumstances, to people, to conditions and places, and realize that nothing is really permanent, right? This too shall pass. Then when you kind of reach that state in mind, suddenly your happiness, your well-being is no longer completely dependent on your circumstances, right? When things go good, you enjoy it while they last, right? But it's not going to last forever. When things go quote-unquote bad, you of course it's still painful, of course it's still challenging, but now it's not going to last forever. It's going to change, right? Something new is going to come. So there is no point in having your happiness being completely tied to a specific set of life circumstances or your life situation. So that's point number 4. And I hope this was a good book summary, guys. I absolutely love this book. It completely changed my life. I highly recommend checking it out. I also wrote a blog post about this on my Medium channel, and I'm going to link it in the YouTube description below. Please check it out. If you like this video, please subscribe, add your comments, and I'll see you again later.